Mike, I got to say, this makeover of the Press of Atlantic City, it's the first time this morning I'm seeing it in print. It's like getting a new haircut, man. This is nice.
It looks good. It does look good. Things change, and the change can be hard for some people to take, but, things change for the better. And, the paper has a new, sharp look and a lot of new content, too. So, it's an exciting time at the Press of Atlantic City right now.
Exciting time in the South Jersey track and field community, too. The sectional meets going on this weekend. You have Groups 1, 4, and non-public B over at Egg Harbor Township, and then Groups 2 and 3. It used to be at Buna, and this year it's up at Central Regional, and I know you were there getting a chance to cover day one of that meet last night, Mike. So let's start with some big storylines there, and I know one of the headlines for you, at least in today's paper, was John Moores from Middle Township in the discus with an impressive effort there at the sectional meet.
Yeah, just a phenomenal throw last night. He threw 185 feet, 11 inches to win the South Jersey Group 2 discus. That's the best throw in the state this season, and it's the third best discus throw in Cape Atlantic League history. So a great effort by John Moores. And sometimes, at a track and field meet, those throwers, your shot putters, your discus guys, your javelin, they're off in the back field. You don't always get a chance to sort of watch or appreciate what they're doing. But last night, John Moores made himself impossible not to notice with that 185 feet, 11 inches throw.
Some other big storylines from yesterday. I know Lynn Brown of Buna in the javelin, and again, you just mentioned it. A lot of times those field athletes don't get the credit, but she picked up a big win last night. Madison Chiola of Hamilton, Amy Bruno of Barnegat, Megan Maloney also with a win in there. So pretty impressive day for some local throwers or field athletes there.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the bigger stories I thought was Anthony Matarano of Hamilton coming back to winning the 100-meter dash in South Jersey Group 3. I've been doing this 20-something years. I don't ever remember Hamilton having a sprinter like that. And, you look at Anthony Matarano of Hamilton, you look at Rocco Ardilli and Caleb Williams of St. Joe, who went 1-2 in the non-public B100 last night at Egg Harbor Township. And I guess you have to come to the conclusion that Hamilton is the new speed city in South Jersey with the way those three sprinters are running.
What about Marquise Bell, Mike? I mean, it's a guy who nobody really comes close in terms of the high jump, and I know he won it yesterday in Group 2. He has his sights set on possibly, a meet of champions win this season. I mean, how impressive is he to watch? We talk about him during football season, basketball season, but if you're going to maybe pick his best sport, it's probably track and field. The kid is just a freak athlete.
Yeah, tremendous, quarterback for the Bridgeton football team, tremendous athlete. Won the South Jersey Group 2 high jump as a freshman last year. Came in last night, defended the title as a sophomore. Jumped 6'4", which he kind of admitted for him is kind of average or routine. He's hoping to get 6'10" at either the state group championship meet or the meet of champions. And obviously, he kind of dealt with different situation than last year. Last year, he admitted he came in as a freshman. Nobody knew who he was. He won the title. No pressure on him. Last night, he came in as a defending champion. Everybody knew who he was, and he dealt with that and dealt with it successfully. So, he moves on to the next weekend also.
Aliquan Stokes with a big win on the track for Oakcrest yesterday, and maybe not up to his best, not feeling 100%, but still able to get it done.
Yeah, kind of weird the what he said. He's kind of worried about, falling, or he just felt out of sorts. And that can happen in those 400 hurdle events. One lap around the track with hurdles, it's based on precision, steps. If you get, out of whack with your steps, or, you can have a hard time getting back in rhythm. But he was able to overcome that and really won the event right easily. I was kind of surprised when he said he felt out of sorts and was worried about falling, and felt relief when he won because, he looked great in winning the race, and no one really challenged him. So, a big win for Aliquan Stokes there of Oakcrest.
What about the venue change, Mike? I mean, I mentioned it. This event was at Buna, if I'm not mistaken, for a number of years now. It moves up to Central Regional. Anything different up there? Everything running smoothly?
Yeah, everything pretty smoothly. I mean, what happened is Central Regional kind of redid their facility. Before last football season, I believe. They've got the artificial grass field. They've got the new 8-lane track. It's a beautiful facility, and everything seemed to go smoothly last night. So, I always like to see those events at Cape Atlantic League facilities. But Central Regional, located right off the Garden State Parkway, easy travel for a lot of teams. So, I didn't hear a lot of bad things about the facility. Heard mostly good things about it.
And one last question to wrap up some track and field talk. Obviously, these sectional meets continue today. Any storylines jump out to you? Some kids to keep an eye on and some events going on today, whether it's up at Central in Group 2 and Group 3 or down closer to the shore at EHT with Groups 1, 4, and non-public B.
Yeah, I think you got to look at a couple things. I think you got to look at Devin Grisbaum of Ocean City, who won the Meet of Champions in cross country in the fall, won the Meet of Champions in the 3200 at an indoor track. And she's going to try to add another Meet of Champions title in the spring. She'll take the first step today when she runs in the 3200 in the Group 3 up at Central Regional, so that'll be interesting. Over at EHT, I think Julianne Cadiana last night won the Group 4 1600 in 5 minutes. That 5-minute mark is really a magic mark for girl high school runners when it comes to the 1600 of a mile. If you get under that 5-minute mark, you're considered really good. She's right on that barrier right now. And she comes back and runs the 800 today, tries to add another sectional title to what she did last night. So, I would say those are two kind of storylines to follow today.
Checking in with Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City here on the South Jersey Sports Report, 97.3 ESPN FM. Obviously a lot going on in area track and field with sectionals wrapping up today. Of course, state meets coming up next weekend. But, Mike, I want to get into some high school baseball talk because a lot of big games yesterday. Thursday was supposed to be the big high school baseball day. Of course, the weather not cooperating, so teams having to travel on that Memorial Day Friday, which isn't always fun, but you have a lot of local teams coming up with wins and close wins at that. I mean, Buna, defending state champ with a 1-run win. Mainland, the same story. And we saw last year with Buna and Mainland. I mean, it's not always blowouts. It's not always pretty, but these two teams just finding a way to get it done. And so far, that's been the theme in this postseason as well.
Yeah, it's the same formula they used last year. I mean, they winning close baseball games with, great pitching and key hitting. Denny Brady strikes out 15 guys. Buna beats Sterling 1-0. Big win for Buna. They're trying to follow that same sort of path that they took to last year's state Group 2 final. They threw Andrew Cartier on Tuesday or Monday against Collingswood. They get a walk-off hit from Don Lopez to win that game. Then they win another game, 15 strikeouts from Brady. Now they travel to Deptford on Tuesday for a semifinal game. That'll be a tough one. And Mainland just continuing to do what they did, really started in the playoffs last year and has continued all season long with Mainland winning close games with clutch hitting. And Mainland's got a big semifinal coming up on Tuesday. They will host Toms River South. People who follow high school baseball, Todd Frazier, Cincinnati Reds, went to Toms River South. Toms River South, really one of the magic names in South Jersey baseball, coached by Ken Frank. He has more than 500 career wins. So they're one of those magic programs in South Jersey baseball and New Jersey baseball, and they'll be coming to Mainland for a Group 3 semifinal on Tuesday.
Yesterday, sort of a day of stars in terms of some guys really carrying their teams to victory. We talked about Denny Brady there for Buna, and I want to talk about Wildwood a little bit as Brendan Bean comes up with a huge effort for the Warriors, and we're going to try to check in with head coach Rich Hans in a few minutes. But, the Wildwood Warriors, again, outside of the Cape Atlantic League, so maybe we don't talk about them a ton, but hey, here they are, South Jersey Group 1 semifinals with a win yesterday over Pennsgrove.
Hey, and more important, in a wide-open South Jersey Group 1. I believe Wildwood will have another home game. I think they host Gateway on Tuesday. The top seed Riverside lost to Gateway yesterday. People might remember Riverside as a team. Mainland Regional played in the Diamond Classic and won the game, I believe, 9-2 in the opening round of the Diamond Classic. But Riverside, a perennial Group 1 power, out of the tournament. Group 1, wide open. And, why not Wildwood, especially with the guys they have down there, especially with Brendan Bean, the way he's played all season. Wildwood with a home game in a Group 1 semifinal, a chance to get to the final in what has turned into a wide-open Group 1 bracket. So why not Wildwood? And, of course, that's a big game to watch on Tuesday. Wildwood at home in the South Jersey Group 1 semifinals.
How about Holy Spirit baseball with a big playoff win over St. Joe? And maybe we didn't talk about St. Joe enough coming into this season, but you almost forget with the runs by Buna and Mainland. This is a St. Joe team that went all the way to the state championship game in non-public B, but Holy Spirit, it's been a tough season for them, very young, but boy, a convincing win over St. Joe yesterday, ending the Wildcats' run early on. 8-1 Holy Spirit wins, and the Spartans last year, they were one of the top seeds. They lost early. This year, the tables have turned a little bit.
Yeah, you've seen teams, especially in that non-public B, able to go on runs from a lower seeded position. I think Holy Spirit, like you said, you hit the key thing right there. They're very young. I saw them 2 or 3 times early in the season. They're playing 4 or 5 sophomores. They might have even had a freshman in the lineup. If you follow their scores towards the end of the season, they started to get some wins in the tough Cape Atlantic League American Conference. They played more competitively and everything else. So they go up to St. Joe. They win that game 8-1. They've got another tough game. They'll go to the quarterfinal game. They'll play at St. Rose of Belmar on Tuesday. St. Rose, the number 2 seed, so that'll be a tough game for them. But I think a key win for Holy Spirit beating a rival in St. Joe, advance to the quarterfinals. And I really think kind of Holy Spirit traveling up to St. Rose with house money for the quarterfinals now.
From non-public B to non-public A as St. Augustine Prep begins its playoff run yesterday with a home win over Donovan Catholic. And Mike, to be honest, it's maybe a St. Augustine Prep team that's fallen off the radar a little bit. I know they had huge expectations coming into the season and a couple bumps in the road, an earlier than wanted exit from the Diamond Classic, but still a lot of talent there with St. Augustine. I know it's a loaded non-public A South bracket, but obviously one win is a start and the Hermits are moving on to the next round.
Yeah, you make a good point, though. I think they got an outstanding pitching effort from Mike Pistoria yesterday to beat Donovan Catholic. They move on. I think you make a good point about flying under the radar. I mean, kind of the losses to Ocean City and Mainland and Absegami early in the season kind of, took them out of the Cape Atlantic League American Conference race, put them on the back burner a little bit. I think I did something or mentioned something in Friday's paper. I think they won 10 of their last 11 games or 11 out of their last 12 games, and the only loss was a 1-0 or 1-run loss to Eastern in the Diamond Classic first round. So, I think St. Augustine is really, like you said, kind of flying under the radar, playing as well as anybody in the Cape Atlantic League. The other part you mentioned that's correct is that loaded non-public A bracket. St. Augustine is on the other side of the bracket from Gloucester Catholic and Bishop Eustace, but they've got to go play CBA right now out of Monmouth County, one of the top teams in the Shore Conference, the perennial power in the quarterfinals on Tuesday, and that is not an easy game. But then again, no game in non-public A is an easy game.
And then we'll get you out of here with this one. You saw a lot of teams advancing, a lot of local teams advancing in the state playoffs, but the run comes to an end for a few local teams yesterday. ACIT with really an outstanding season, but the run is done after a loss to Deptford. Also, Egg Harbor Township, weird situation. They have to get on the bus 2 days in a row. They play Toms River North tough, but lose in that one. But, really as a whole for both ACIT and EHT, pretty successful years.
I think very successful seasons for both teams, especially ACIT with what they were able to do in the Cape Atlantic League National Conference and turning around, winning a playoff game, losing to a higher seeded team on the road, nothing to be ashamed of. And EHT just continues to be, they're really building a program there. Brian Carmichael doing an excellent job. They play Toms River North, Toms River North, one of the top seeds in Group 4, one of the best teams in the Shore Conference, another perennial power. You have an EHT team that beat Eastern during the regular season. Last year they made the Diamond Classic, so they're kind of a team that's kind of really upped the level of their program the past 2 seasons. And, they're really starting to build a sort of baseball tradition there at EHT.
All right, Mike McGarry, thanks so much for joining us from the press of Atlantic City. Always appreciate the insight. Enjoy your holiday weekend, and we'll catch up again next week.
No holiday weekend for me, Mike. It's a lot of work headed to Central Regional right now. So the Memorial Day, meaningless for me.
Well, have a couple cold ones when you get home. How about that?
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Mike McGarry from the press of Atlantic City. Great stuff as always.